Welcome, my friend, to Super English Talks, where we learn English by listening to simple but powerful stories. Stories that help you grow. Stories that make you think. Stories that help you speak English more clearly, more confidently, and more naturally. Today's story is about learning something new, not just learning English, but learning anything in life, and how this simple decision can change your future. I want you to imagine a quiet morning. Maybe it is the morning of a weekend. The sun is soft. The air is calm. And you wake up with this tiny, gentle thought, maybe I can do better. Maybe I can learn something. Maybe I can grow. This is how the story begins, with a small idea, like a seed waiting to become a strong tree. Our story follows a person named Daniel. He is an ordinary person living an ordinary life. But today, something inside him feels different. He doesn't know what it is yet. He doesn't know where it will take him. But this small feeling will guide him into a new chapter of his life. And as you listen, I want you to imagine that you are walking with him. You are listening to his thoughts. You feel what he feels. And maybe, just maybe, you will see your own life inside this story too. Daniel wakes up early. His room is quiet, almost too quiet. He sits on the edge of his bed, rubbing his eyes slowly. He feels tired, but not the normal kind of tired from lack of sleep. It is a deeper tiredness, a tiredness that comes from doing the same thing every day. He looks around his room. Everything is familiar. Everything is known. But suddenly, he feels something new, a question, floating gently in his mind. What if I try to learn something today? Something small. Something simple. What if I try? He doesn't know where this question comes from. But it feels important. It feels like a soft knock on a door inside his mind. And Daniel, without even thinking too much, decides not to ignore it this time. He stands up slowly, stretches his arms, and walks to the window. He opens it, and a cool breeze enters the room. The air feels fresh, different, almost like the world is telling him yes. Today can be new. Daniel closes his eyes for a moment. He breathes. He thinks. And then he smiles, just a little. Okay, he whispers to himself. Let's try. You know, my friend, maybe you have felt this too, this small moment when you realize that the only thing standing between you and your next step is simply starting. Not finishing. Not being perfect. Just starting. That is the first lesson of today's story. Learning something new begins with one simple moment of courage. Daniel walks to the kitchen. He makes a cup of tea. He sits down at the table. And again, he thinks carefully. What should I learn today? He could learn many things. A new recipe. A new skill. A new piece of knowledge. But one idea keeps appearing in his mind again and again. English. He has always wanted to learn English well. Not for exams. Not for school. Not even for work. He wants to learn it so he can understand people better. So he can watch movies without subtitles. So he can travel without fear. So he can read books in their original language. And maybe, deep inside, so he can change something in himself. But whenever he tried before, he stopped. He felt it was too hard. Too big. Too much. He thought he needed special talent. Or a special brain. Or more time. Or a perfect plan. But today, something feels different. He takes a sip of tea, looks at his phone, and opens a simple English learning video. The voice is slow, calm, friendly. The kind of voice that makes you feel like you can do it. The kind of voice that makes learning feel safe. And Daniel listens. At first, he understands only some words, not everything. But the words he does understand make him smile. It feels good. It feels peaceful. It feels possible. He hears the narrator say something simple but powerful. You don't need to be perfect. You only need to begin. Daniel pauses the video. He looks at the wall in front of him. His heart beats softly. Maybe that's true, he whispers. Maybe I can learn something new. Maybe I can grow. And so, he listens again. This time with more attention, more curiosity, more hope. And maybe you feel this too right now, the curiosity, the hope, the belief that if Daniel can begin, maybe you can begin too. Maybe you can learn something new today. Maybe this story is not just about him. Maybe it is also about you. Daniel begins repeating some sentences out loud. At first, his voice is quiet, shy, almost afraid. But then he relaxes. He tries again. He speaks a little louder, a little clearer. And even though he makes mistakes, he keeps going. Because he is learning something powerful, mistakes are not the enemy of learning, they are the path to learning. He listens more. He repeats more. And each time, he feels a tiny spark of confidence growing inside him. A small light, a small strength, a small belief. And that, my friend, is how transformation begins, not with big actions, not with dramatic changes, but with small steps done again and again with hope. As Daniel continues learning, he notices something interesting. He feels happier. Not because he learned many words. Not because he spoke perfectly. But because he moved forward. Because he tried. Because he said yes to himself for the first time in a long time. And maybe you can feel it too now, that something in your chest is opening, changing, growing. Because learning something new is not just about skills. It is about waking up something inside you that has been sleeping. Daniel finishes his tea. He puts his phone down. And then he feels it, the first real moment of pride he has felt in a very long time. A simple pride. A soft pride. The kind of pride that whispers, "Good job. You started." And that is enough. But his journey is not finished. This is only the first step. The first chapter. The first breath of change. Soon he will face challenges. He will doubt himself. He will feel lost. But he will also learn something deeper, something life-changing. Every new skill begins with confusion and ends with confidence. The air outside feels cool on Daniel's skin as he steps into the quiet street. It is still early. The sky is light blue, the kind of gentle blue that makes the world feel soft and new. Birds are singing somewhere far away, not loudly, just enough to remind him that the world is awake. And for the first time in a long time, he feels awake too. He walks slowly, not because he is tired, but because he wants to notice things he never noticed before. The sound of leaves moving in the breeze. The distant hum of a car. The way the sunlight touches the windows of the houses around him. These simple details feel different today. They feel almost magical. And maybe it is because Daniel is seeing them with new eyes. When you start learning something new, even a small thing, the world becomes brighter. Your eyes open. Your heart opens. Your mind opens. And this is what Daniel feels now. As he walks, Daniel begins thinking about his morning. How he woke up with that strange little feeling. How he listened to English for a few minutes. How he repeated the sentences even when they felt strange in his mouth. And how that tiny action, so small, so simple, made him feel proud. He laughs softly at himself and shakes his head. It's funny, he thinks. I only studied for a few minutes, but I feel like I did something important. But that is not funny at all. It is human. When you take one small step forward, even a tiny one, your mind wakes up. Your heart becomes lighter. You feel like you can breathe again. One small step can open 1,000 doors. Daniel keeps walking, and soon he reaches a small park. It is a peaceful place, with a few benches, some trees, and a small path that curves gently through the grass. He chooses a bench near the path and sits down, feeling the cool wood beneath him. He takes a deep breath and lets it out slowly. He watches a young girl learning to ride a bicycle. She wobbles left, then right. Her father walks beside her, holding the seat with one hand. The girl looks worried, but her father's voice is calm. You're doing great. Keep going. Just a little more. You don't have to be perfect. Just keep moving. Daniel smiles. Those words feel like they are meant for him too. You don't have to be perfect. Just keep moving. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the secret of learning something new? Daniel looks at the girl again. She is still shaking, still nervous. But she keeps trying. She keeps pedaling. And slowly, very slowly, she becomes steadier. Not perfect. Not fast. But better. And that is enough. Daniel closes his eyes for a moment and lets the idea sink into his mind. Learning something new is not about doing it perfectly. It is about doing it again. And again. And again. A gentle wind passes by, touching his face softly. And then something inside him stirs, the desire to keep learning, to keep practicing, to keep building the new version of himself. He takes out his phone and opens the same English video he watched earlier. The narrator's friendly voice fills the air around him. Repeat after me, the voice says, slow and steady. I believe in myself. I can learn something new. I can grow every day. Daniel looks around quickly to see if anyone is watching him. The park is almost empty. Only the girl on the bicycle, her father, and an old woman feeding pigeons a few meters away. He feels a little shy. But then he remembers something important. If you want to grow, you cannot worry about small things. You cannot worry about who is watching. You cannot worry about looking silly. You cannot care about perfection. You care about progress. So he whispers the sentences. I believe in myself. I can learn something new. I can grow every day. His voice is quiet but firm. He repeats the sentences again, this time a little louder. And little by little, his fear disappears. His shyness melts. His thoughts become clearer. Daniel realizes something powerful in this moment, something he never understood before. Learning is not only about the mind. Learning begins in the heart. You must believe you can grow. You must believe you can change. You must believe you are capable. Even if you don't know how. Even if you don't know when. Even if you don't know where to start. Belief is the beginning of everything. Daniel listens to the next part of the video. The narrator continues speaking gently. When you take small steps every day, you build something beautiful, momentum. Momentum is like a quiet force that pulls you forward. It makes learning easier. It makes you feel stronger. It makes you feel like becoming better is natural. Daniel repeats the new sentences too. His voice sounds a little more confident now. I will grow. I will learn. I will keep going. And as he speaks these words, he notices something surprising happening inside him. Something warm. Something bright. Something that feels like hope. For the first time in months, he feels hopeful about his future. He closes the video and puts his phone down on his lap. He looks up at the sky and smiles slightly. The girl on the bicycle has improved. She no longer needs her father's hand. She is riding slowly but independently. Her father walks behind her, clapping and laughing. You did it, he shouts. The girl laughs proudly. I did it. Daniel watches them with a soft heart. It is such a simple moment, just a child learning to ride a bike. But somehow, it feels connected to his own journey. Because learning English or learning any skill is not so different from learning to ride a bicycle. At first, you fall. At first, you feel scared. At first, you want someone to hold you. But one day, something changes. Something clicks. And suddenly, you move forward on your own. Daniel stands up from the bench and starts walking again. The path is quiet except for the rustling of leaves under his shoes. As he walks, he thinks about why learning something new feels so difficult sometimes, not because the skill is hard, but because we are afraid to look weak. Afraid to be beginners. afraid to make mistakes. But today, Daniel understands that being a beginner is not a problem. It is a gift. It means you are starting fresh. It means you are open. It means you are willing to grow. And that is beautiful. He stops walking and leans against a tree. He pulls out a small notebook from his pocket, a notebook he has not used in a long time. He opens it to a blank page. And then, with a pen that shakes a little in his hand, he writes, "Day 1, I started learning English again. I am proud of myself." He pauses, then adds, "Small steps matter." A soft feeling fills his chest, gratitude. He is grateful that he listened to that small whisper inside his mind this morning. He is grateful he said yes. He is grateful he tried. He continues writing. "I don't know where this journey will take me, but I want to keep going. I want to grow. I want to become someone who does not give up." He closes the notebook and puts it back in his pocket. He breathes deeply, letting the cool air fill his lungs. And he feels stronger. Not physically, but inside. Just then, his phone vibrates. It's a message from his friend, Maria. She is someone he has not spoken to in a while. "Hi, Daniel. Long time no talk. How are you? Want to meet later?" He smiles. Maria is one of those friends who brings good energy wherever she goes. She is cheerful, lively, curious. And talking to her always makes Daniel feel better. But he also knows that sometimes he hides from people when he feels stuck in life. He does not want anyone to see his struggles, his doubts, his fears. But today is not one of those days. Today he feels open. Today he feels brave. Today he feels different. He types back, "Hi, Maria. Yes, I would love to meet. Maybe later this afternoon." She answers almost immediately, "Perfect. I have something interesting to tell you." Daniel laughs. Maria always has something interesting to say. She is the kind of person who learns new things all the time, new hobbies, new languages, new stories. And she often encourages Daniel to try new things too. As Daniel walks home, he wonders what Maria wants to share. Maybe she discovered a new passion. Maybe she went on a trip. Maybe she took a workshop or started a project. Whatever it is, he knows she will tell the story with excitement and energy. And maybe, just maybe, her story will help his own journey. Because when you begin learning something new, the world sends you people, moments, and messages that help you continue. It is almost like the universe says, "Good job. Here is your next step." Daniel reaches his house and opens the door. The room looks the same as it did in the morning, but it feels different now. Maybe it is because he is different. He feels a new kind of calm inside him, a new kind of focus. He sits at his table again. The same place he began his morning learning. He takes another sip of tea, now cold, and smiles. Then he picks up his phone and listens to the English audio one more time. This time the sentences feel easier. His tongue moves more smoothly. His brain feels more awake. He repeats, "I believe in myself. I can learn something new. I can grow every day. I will keep going." And then Daniel realizes something important, something he wishes he had known years ago. Small steps are not small. They are the beginning of everything. He closes his eyes and lets this idea settle into his heart. He knows this is only the first part of his journey. He knows there will be days when he feels tired, days when he wants to stop, days when he doubts himself again. But he also knows something else now. As long as he keeps taking small steps, he will move forward. Slowly, gently, steadily. And one day, he will look back and smile at how far he has come. Daniel stands up and gets ready to meet Maria. And as he does, he feels a quiet excitement inside him. Because this is only the beginning. The afternoon sun hangs gently in the sky as Daniel walks toward the small cafe where he plans to meet Maria. The air feels warmer now, soft and golden, as if the day itself is smiling. He walks calmly, but inside, he feels a little nervous. Not scared. Not worried. Just aware. Aware that something important might happen today. Aware that his life feels like it is slowly turning in a new direction. The cafe is on a quiet corner with small round tables outside and a warm wooden interior that smells like fresh bread and coffee. Daniel has always liked this place. It feels peaceful, safe, a good place to think, a good place to talk. He arrives a few minutes early and chooses a seat near the window. He sits down slowly and looks around. People are chatting softly. Someone is typing on a laptop. A couple is sharing a slice of cake, laughing quietly. Everything feels soft and normal. But Daniel's heart beats a little faster, not in fear, but in anticipation. He checks his phone. No new message from Maria yet. She is usually on time, but she also moves through life with a kind of joyful freedom, so she might be a little late. Daniel doesn't mind. He looks at the menu on the table, letting his eyes rest on the simple words coffee, tea, sandwiches, soups. None of these things are special, but today, they feel different. Maybe it is because he feels different. He takes a deep breath and lets it out slowly. His mind goes back to his morning learning session, to the calm voice in the English practice video, to the simple sentences he repeated. He remembers how strange they felt at first and how natural they felt later. And he wonders, is this how change begins? Quietly, gently, like a soft breath? Just then, the door opens and Daniel hears a familiar voice. Daniel, there you are. He turns and there she is, Maria. Bright eyes, warm smile, energy that flows around her like a light breeze. She walks toward him with her arms open. It's so good to see you, she says as she gives him a quick hug. Daniel smiles. You too, Maria. How have you been? Oh, you know me, she says, sitting down and brushing her hair back. Always busy, always trying something new, always getting into some new adventure. She laughs, and the sound is quick and joyful. Daniel laughs with her. I'm not surprised. They order drinks. Maria gets her usual, a caramel latte with extra foam, and Daniel orders a simple tea. While they wait, Maria leans forward, eyes shining with excitement. So, she says, I have something interesting to tell you. Something you might like. Daniel raises an eyebrow. Really? What is it? Maria pauses dramatically. She loves doing that. She loves building suspense. Then she says, I started learning something new. Daniel smiles. That seems very normal for her. Let me guess, he says. Painting? Dancing? Pottery? Cooking? Photography? Yoga? Maria laughs loudly. You know me too well. So which one is it this time? Daniel asks. Maria leans closer and lowers her voice, as if she is about to share a secret. Actually, it's English. Daniel blinks. English? He didn't expect that. Maria always seems confident, comfortable, fearless. She speaks another language already. Why English? He sits up straighter. Really? He asks. I didn't know you wanted to learn English. Maria nods slowly. Yes. I've wanted to learn it for years. But I never took it seriously. I always said, maybe next month. Maybe next year. I was scared. I was embarrassed. I thought I would sound stupid. But recently I decided to start. Just start. No pressure. No perfection. Daniel feels something warm in his chest. Something clicks in his mind. Because this morning, he did the same thing. He whispers, almost without thinking, I started too. Maria's eyes widen. You started English today? He nods. And suddenly, the air between them feels different, lighter, deeper, connected. Two people, both beginners again. Two people, both starting something new. Two people, both trying to grow quietly. Maria covers her mouth with her hand in surprise and then laughs softly. Daniel, This is unbelievable. We didn't talk for weeks, and we both chose the same day to start learning English again. Daniel laughs. Maybe it's a sign. Maybe it is, she says. Maybe we're supposed to help each other. The waitress brings their drinks, and Maria takes a slow sip of her latte. She places the cup down, then looks at Daniel with a serious expression, not sad, just thoughtful. You know, she begins, starting was the hardest part for me. I felt so silly repeating simple sentences. Like, my name is Maria. I like coffee. How are you? I felt like a child. But I kept going. Daniel nods. I know exactly what you mean. I did the same thing this morning. It felt strange at first, but then it felt good. Like I was waking up after a long sleep. Maria leans back in her chair and sighs. That's exactly how I felt. Waking up. Daniel looks at her and asks, why did you start now? After so long. Maria pauses. Her eyes soften. Because I realized something, she says slowly. If I don't learn now, then when? If I keep waiting for the perfect moment, for more confidence, for more time, I will never start. And I don't want to live a life where I never try the things I want. Her words sink into Daniel's heart like a quiet truth. He feels them deeply. She continues. And you know, Daniel, learning something new isn't about being brilliant. It's about being brave. It's about letting yourself be a beginner. It's about saying, I don't know this yet, but I can learn. Daniel feels his chest tighten, not in a painful way, but in a powerful way. Because those words feel like they are for him too. He looks at his tea, then at Maria, then back at his tea. I think I forgot how to be a beginner, he says honestly. I always want to be good at something immediately. I get frustrated when I make mistakes. I feel embarrassed when I don't understand something. Maria nods slowly. We all feel that way, she says. But when we let go of that fear, even a little, learning becomes easier. Lighter. Kinder. Daniel takes a deep breath. He feels safe talking to her, safe sharing these thoughts he usually hides. This morning, he says softly, I felt something strange. When I was listening to the English video, I felt hopeful. Like maybe I can change something in my life. Maria smiles warmly. You can, Daniel. And you just did. You already began. He nods. He feels the truth in her words. Maria claps her hands together suddenly. Okay, she says with bright energy. I have an idea. Daniel raises his eyebrows. When Maria says she has an idea, it usually means something interesting or something wild. We should practice together, she says. Not like a class. Not like homework. Just small things. Simple conversations. We can help each other, support each other, motivate each other. Daniel laughs softly. You're serious? Very serious, she says. Think about it. If we practice together, we won't feel embarrassed. We won't feel alone. And we won't give up easily. Daniel thinks about it. And slowly, a smile grows on his face. I'd like that, he says. Good. Maria says, punching the air playfully. Because I need someone to remind me not to quit. And I need someone to remind me to continue, Daniel replies. They both laugh. And it feels good. It feels light. It feels like the beginning of something helpful, something supportive. The conversation continues, flowing softly like water. They talk about words they learned, sentences they practiced, videos they watched. They share fears, hopes, and small goals. They talk about how learning English sometimes feels like walking into a big unknown world and how exciting that can be. At one point, Maria leans forward and asks, Daniel, what made you start today? You said you just felt something different. Daniel thinks for a moment. He looks out the window, watching cars pass, watching light move across the street. Then he says slowly, I think I was tired of being stuck. Tired of doing nothing. Tired of waiting for change to come from outside. I wanted to do something myself. Maria nods gently. That's powerful, she says. And brave. Daniel smiles, a little shy. Maybe, he says quietly. The cafe grows busier, but Daniel and Maria stay in their own little world, talking about dreams, goals, and the beauty of learning something new. And the more they talk, the more Daniel realizes something important, something he had forgotten for a long time. Learning is easier when you are not alone. Growth is faster when someone believes in you. And courage becomes stronger when shared. Their drinks are almost finished when Maria suddenly leans forward and whispers, Daniel, can I tell you a secret? Daniel nods, curious. She looks down at her hands, then back at him. I used to think I wasn't smart enough to learn English, she says softly. That I wasn't good enough. That I would always be behind others. Daniel feels a jolt of surprise. Maria? Not good enough? That doesn't sound like her at all. Maria continues, her voice gentle. But today I realized something. The only person who ever told me that was me. Daniel feels those words hit him deep inside. Because he knows that feeling too well. He has told himself the same things many times. He quietly asks, so what changed? Maria smiles slowly. I changed, she says. Or, I'm trying to. Daniel nods. Me too. They sit in silence for a moment, both thinking, both feeling, both growing. And then Maria breaks the silence with a playful grin. So, when do we start our English practice partnership? Daniel laughs. How about tomorrow morning? Maria claps her hands. Perfect. Then we begin tomorrow. A new chapter. A new chapter. Daniel repeats those words in his mind. A new chapter. And he feels something warm spread through his chest. Something like excitement. Something like hope. They leave the cafe together, walking slowly toward the street. The sky is turning orange now and the air feels cooler again. They walk side by side until their paths separate. See you tomorrow, Maria says, waving. See you, Daniel replies. He watches her walk away, and then he turns toward home. His steps feel lighter. His mind feels clearer. His heart feels full. And as he walks, he thinks about everything Maria said. Everything he felt. Everything he wants to do next. He doesn't know what tomorrow will bring. He doesn't know what challenges he will face. But he knows one thing very clearly. He is no longer walking alone. He is no longer afraid to begin. And he is no longer the person he was yesterday. He is changing. Slowly. Softly. Beautifully. The next morning arrives quietly, almost gently, as if the world knows that something special is about to begin. Daniel wakes up before the alarm rings. His room is still dark, but his mind is already awake. There is a soft excitement inside him, like a small light glowing behind his ribs. It is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is quiet, warm, and hopeful. He sits up slowly, stretching his arms toward the ceiling. His muscles feel a little stiff, but his spirit feels open and calm. He rubs his eyes and looks at the clock. It is early, earlier than he usually wakes up. But today feels different, just like yesterday felt different, and he knows exactly why. Today is the day he begins practicing English with Maria. He gets out of bed and walks toward the window. When he pulls the curtains back, a soft blue light fills the room. The sun has not fully risen yet, but the morning sky is beginning to glow. Birds are singing somewhere outside, their voices gentle and welcoming. Daniel stands there for a moment, smiling quietly to himself. He whispers the first English sentence that comes to mind, "Good morning." His voice sounds calm, natural. He likes the feeling of speaking English early in the morning. It feels fresh, clean, new, like the day. He washes his face, brushes his teeth, and changes into simple clothes, a plain shirt and comfortable pants. Nothing special. But he feels good. He feels ready. In the kitchen, he makes tea again, just like yesterday. While the hot water pours into the cup, steam rises gently, and he watches it curl and disappear into the air. He holds the warm cup in his hands and breathes in the soft smell of tea leaves. Everything around him feels peaceful. He knows he will meet Maria soon. They agreed to practice at the same cafe, the one with warm light and quiet corners. He likes that place. It feels safe. It feels like a good place for new beginnings. As he drinks his tea slowly, Daniel checks his phone. No message yet, but that doesn't worry him. Maria is probably getting ready too. He imagines her brushing her hair quickly, tying her shoes, talking to herself with excitement, maybe practicing sentences in English already. He smiles at the thought. He finishes his tea, grabs his notebook, the same one he wrote in yesterday, and puts it in his bag. He takes a deep breath, opens the door, and steps into the cool morning air. The street is quiet. Only a few lights are on in the nearby houses. The world feels peaceful, as if everyone else is still asleep while Daniel moves through the early morning with purpose. He walks slowly, letting the cool air wake him up. A soft breeze touches his face. The sky grows lighter with every step he takes. He feels calm, but there is also a soft nervousness inside him. Not fear, just the feeling of doing something new, something important, something that will help him grow. As he walks, he repeats simple English sentences under his breath. I can learn. I can speak. I will try. The words feel warm in his mouth, like something gentle and good. He repeats them again, a little louder this time. I can learn. I can speak. I will try. He feels the words becoming real inside him. When he arrives at the cafe, he sees that the lights are already on inside. The door is open. And there she is, Maria, sitting at a table near the window, just like yesterday. She sees him through the glass and waves excitedly. Daniel smiles and waves back. He steps inside, and the soft smell of fresh bread and warm coffee fills the air. The cafe is quiet at this hour. Only two other people are there, an older man reading a newspaper and a young woman writing something in a notebook. Daniel walks to the table where Maria is sitting. Good morning, she says, her voice bright and full of energy. Good morning, Daniel replies, smiling. Maria looks at him with shining eyes. Are you ready? She asks. Daniel nods. Yes. Let's try. They order their drinks. Daniel gets his usual tea, and Maria gets a cappuccino this time. When the waitress leaves, Maria leans forward, rests her elbows on the table, and smiles. Okay, she says. Let's begin with something simple. Very simple. Just like we're beginners. Because we are. She laughs softly. Daniel laughs too. Yes, we are. Maria claps her hands lightly. Let's start with greetings. Daniel nods. He feels a little shy, but he also feels safe. Maria begins slowly, speaking clearly, just like the English videos. Hello. My name is Maria. Daniel repeats, hello. My name is Daniel. Maria grins. Good. Now ask me, how are you? Daniel breathes in gently. How are you? I am good, Maria replies happily. And you? Daniel smiles. I am good too. They both laugh. It feels simple. Easy. Almost like playing. And the simple sentences feel surprisingly good to speak. They feel natural, gentle, and calm. Maria leans back and says, see? We can do it. One small sentence at a time. Daniel nods. It's easier than I thought. Maria points a playful finger at him. Exactly. The secret is to enjoy it. To play with it. To not be afraid. She takes a sip of her cappuccino, then continues, let's try talking about our day. Just simple sentences. No pressure. No perfect grammar. Just talking. Daniel nods. Okay. You start. Maria clears her throat dramatically and says in simple English, "This morning, I woke up early. I was excited. I wanted to practice English with you." Daniel laughs softly. Me too. He takes a breath and tries to speak slowly. This morning, I woke up early too. I felt good. I felt ready. Maria nods proudly. Perfect. Easy. Natural. You see. Daniel smiles. He feels warm inside. Not because he spoke perfectly, but because he spoke. And because speaking with Maria feels comfortable. Maria continues, "Now let's talk about something we like." For example, she looks around as if searching for inspiration. Then she smiles. Coffee. I like coffee. I like sweet coffee. Daniel says, I like tea. I like warm tea. Maria claps quietly. Look at us. We're having a conversation already. Daniel laughs, shaking his head. It's simple, but it feels good. Yes, Maria says, because simple is beautiful. Simple is where learning begins. Daniel nods slowly. He likes that sentence. They continue speaking. They talk about simple things: the weather, their morning routines, their favorite drinks, their plans for the day. Sometimes they laugh. Sometimes they pause to think. Sometimes they repeat sentences to make them clearer. And with each sentence, Daniel feels something growing inside him: confidence. Not big confidence. Not loud confidence. But quiet confidence. The kind that grows slowly, like the morning light outside the window. After a while, Maria takes out her small notebook. I wrote some new words yesterday, she says proudly. Let's learn them together. Daniel smiles. Of course. Maria opens her notebook. Inside, there are simple words written in big, soft letters. Words like hope, change, learn, try, brave, future. Daniel reads the words slowly. These are beautiful words, he says softly. Maria nods. Yes, because these words are part of our journey now. She points at the first word. Hope. Daniel repeats it softly. Hope. Maria smiles. Now use it in a simple sentence. Daniel thinks for a moment, then says, I have hope today. Maria's eyes shine. Beautiful. She points at the next word. Change. Daniel repeats change. Then he says, I want to change my life slowly. Maria nods proudly. Yes. Slowly is good. Next word. Learn. Daniel repeats learn. He adds, I want to learn English every day. Maria raises her hands happily. See? You're doing it. Daniel laughs, feeling suddenly lighter. It feels good. Maria points at the next word. Try. Daniel says, I will try. Every day. Maria smiles softly. That is all we need. One by one, they go through each word. One by one, Daniel turns each word into a simple sentence. And with each word, he feels something building inside him: strength, courage, commitment. When they finish the last word, Maria closes her notebook and places her hand on the table. Daniel, she says softly, you're doing something amazing. He looks at her surprised. What do you mean? You're changing, she says. I can see it. Yesterday, you were unsure. Today, you're brave. You're speaking. You're trying. And that is beautiful. Daniel feels his throat tighten a little. Not from sadness. From emotion. He whispers, thank you. Maria shakes her head. No. Thank yourself. You decided to begin. They sit in silence for a moment. It is not awkward. It is peaceful. After some time, Maria suddenly smiles again. Okay, she says cheerfully, let's try something fun. Daniel raises an eyebrow. Fun. Yes. A simple story, she says. We will tell a story together. In English. A very short one. Very easy. Daniel laughs nervously. A story. Yes, Maria says. I say one sentence. Then you say the next. then me, then you. Easy. Daniel takes a deep breath. Okay, let's try. Maria begins in slow, simple English. There was a boy. Daniel thinks for a moment, then says, he wanted to learn something new. Maria nods. Every morning, he woke up early. Daniel adds softly, he tried to learn English. Maria smiles brightly. He was proud of himself. Daniel finishes the tiny story with, and he did not stop. Maria claps happily, almost too loudly for a quiet cafe. See? We made a story. Daniel laughs out loud. A very short story. A perfect story, Maria says. They practice more. Simple questions. Simple answers. Simple stories. Everything is light, warm, and encouraging. And Daniel feels something he has not felt in a long time, joy in learning. Not pressure. Not fear. Not embarrassment. Joy. 2 hours pass without them noticing. The cafe becomes noisier. The morning turns into late morning. People walk in and out. But Daniel and Maria stay at their table, learning, trying, speaking softly, laughing brightly. When it is finally time to leave, Maria stands up and says, Daniel, we are doing something real. Something good. Something important. Daniel nods slowly. Yes, I feel it. Maria smiles warmly. Let's do this every day. Even if it is only 10 minutes. Daniel agrees. Every day. They walk out of the cafe together. The sun is high now, warm and bright. The world feels alive. And Daniel feels alive too. As they walk in different directions, Daniel whispers to himself in English. I can do this. He feels the words settle into him like roots. I can change. He feels them becoming true. I will continue. And he truly knows, that this is not just a promise. It is his new life beginning. The next few days pass gently, like soft waves touching the shore. Each morning, Daniel wakes up early, makes his tea, walks to the cafe, and practices English with Maria. Some days they laugh loudly, some days they speak softly, and some days they simply sit together, repeating simple sentences again and again until the words feel natural on their tongues. And little by little, Daniel feels himself changing. He feels more confident, more open, more hopeful, more alive. But life is never a straight road. Even the brightest days have shadows. Even the warmest mornings can turn cloudy. And even when you try your best, doubt sometimes returns quietly, unexpectedly, like a soft knock you don't want to hear. One morning, about a week after they started practicing together, Daniel wakes up feeling different. Not excited. Not hopeful. Heavy. His eyes open slowly, but his mind feels tired. The room looks the same as always, but everything feels distant, dull, a little gray. He sits up in bed, but instead of feeling ready for the day, he feels overwhelmed. His shoulders feel heavy, as if a weight is pressing on them. He rubs his face and sighs. What's wrong with me? He whispers. He doesn't know. But the feeling is real. The excitement he felt last week is suddenly quiet. The confidence he felt yesterday feels smaller today. He tries to shake it off, but the heaviness stays. He walks to the kitchen slowly, like someone moving through thick fog. The kettle takes too long to boil. The tea tastes weaker. His thoughts feel heavy. And slowly, something old returns. Self-doubt. A quiet voice inside him says, maybe you can't do this. Maybe you're not good enough. Maybe you will fail again. Daniel tries to ignore it, but the voice gets louder. What if you can't improve? What if it gets too hard? What if this is just another one of your short attempts? He closes his eyes. He takes a deep breath. But today, his mind doesn't listen to hope. Today, it listens to fear. He remembers old times when he tried to learn something new and gave up after a few days. Times when he felt lost. Times when he felt not good enough. And slowly, Those old memories mix with today's feelings. His tea grows cold on the table untouched. His phone vibrates, a message from Maria. Good morning. Ready for our practice today? Normally, Daniel would smile when he sees her message. But today, he just stares at the screen. His fingers don't move. He doesn't reply. He feels guilty. He feels confused. He feels weak. He whispers to himself, "Why do I feel like this?" He doesn't know. But sometimes, when you start something new, the first excitement is followed by fear. The brain is not used to change. It prefers safety. It prefers the old ways. So when you try to grow, your mind sometimes pushes back. Daniel stands up and walks to the window. The sky outside is cloudy, soft, and gray. The world looks tired too. Maybe that's why he feels this way. Maybe the weather is affecting him. Or maybe this is just a normal part of learning. He takes a slow breath and whispers in English, "I feel tired today." The words sound heavy. Real. He whispers again, "I don't know if I can do this." He feels something tighten in his chest. Another message comes from Maria. "I'm almost at the cafe. Did you leave your house yet?" Daniel feels a sharp stab of guilt inside him. He doesn't want to disappoint her. He doesn't want to cancel. But he also doesn't want her to see him like this, quiet, heavy, unsure. He types slowly. "I don't feel good today. Maybe I won't make it." Maria replies immediately. "Are you sick?" Daniel stares at the message for a long time. Is he sick? No, not physically. He feels fine. But inside, something hurts. Something is scared. Something is tired. He types. "No, just tired." Maria's reply comes quickly. "Do you want me to come to your place? Or do you want to rest?" Daniel hesitates. He doesn't want her to worry. He doesn't want her to see him like this. He doesn't want to drag her into his heaviness. Then he types. "I think I'll rest today." Maria replies. "Okay, rest well. And remember, it's okay to have slow days. I'm here if you need me." Daniel puts his phone down and closes his eyes. Her message is kind, gentle. But the heaviness inside him doesn't go away. He sits on his couch, staring at nothing. Minutes pass. Then an hour. Then 2. He doesn't read. He doesn't watch anything. He doesn't practice English. He just sits there, feeling like a balloon losing air. Around noon, he stands up and walks to his notebook, the one he wrote in during the first day. He opens it slowly. The words stare back at him. Day 1, I started learning English again. I am proud of myself. Small steps matter. I want to grow. I want to become someone who does not give up. Daniel reads those lines and feels a sting of sadness. The person who wrote those words felt strong, felt hopeful, felt alive. Where did that person go? He whispers. He feels weak today. Not like the Daniel who believed in himself last week. Not like the Daniel who repeated English sentences with confidence. Not like the Daniel who felt proud of taking small steps. He feels like a different Daniel, a lost one. The day passes slowly. The sky remains gray. The air feels heavy. Daniel spends most of the day sitting quietly, thinking too much. In the late afternoon, his phone vibrates again. It's Maria. Hey, how are you feeling now? Daniel stares at the message. He doesn't know what to say. He doesn't want to lie. But he doesn't want to sound dramatic either. He types. Still tired. Maria replies. Do you want to talk on the phone? Daniel hesitates. His heart tightens. He doesn't want her to hear the heaviness in his voice. He doesn't want her to see him as weak. He types. Maybe later. She replies with one simple message. I'm here. Daniel puts the phone down and feels a tiny tear forming behind his eye. He wipes it quickly. What's wrong with me? He asks the empty room. He doesn't know. He walks to the window again. The sky is darker now. The day is ending, but Daniel feels like he didn't live it at all. He feels like the day swallowed him whole. He sits on the floor, leaning against the wall. He rests his head on his knees and breathes slowly. Then he whispers the truth he has been hiding from himself. I'm scared. The words come out softly, almost silently, but they feel heavy in the air. I'm scared I will fail again. I'm scared I can't learn. I'm scared I'm not good enough. He closes his eyes and tears fall silently. Not because he is weak, but because he is human. Because learning something new is not only about excitement and progress. It is also about fear, self-doubt, and quiet battles inside the heart. He stays like that for a long time. Quiet, still, tired. Then, around evening, there is a gentle knock on his door. One soft knock. Then another. Then a quiet voice. Daniel? It's me, Maria. Daniel's heart jumps. He stands up quickly, wiping his face with his sleeve. He didn't expect her to come. He didn't ask her to. But she came anyway. He opens the door slowly. Maria stands there, holding a small bag of warm pastries from the cafe. Her hair is a little messy. Her eyes look soft and worried. She smiles gently. Hey, she says quietly. Daniel looks at her surprised. You came? Maria nods. Of course I came. Daniel steps aside and lets her in. She places the bag of pastries on the table and looks at him carefully, gently. I'm sorry, he says softly. I didn't want you to worry. Maria shakes her head. Daniel, it's okay to feel tired. It's okay to have days like this. Everyone has days like this. Daniel looks down. I feel weak. No, Maria says softly. You feel human. He feels a tear fall again. Maria sees it, but she does not look away. She steps closer, gently touches his arm, and says, You don't have to be strong every day. You don't have to be perfect. I'm not here only for the good days. I'm here for the hard days too. Daniel closes his eyes. Her words feel like warm light touching a dark place inside him. He whispers, I didn't practice today. Maria smiles softly. That's okay. I didn't do anything today, Daniel adds quietly. Maria gently shakes her head. You rested. And sometimes resting is part of learning too. He looks at her, eyes tired. I felt like giving up. Maria takes his hands gently. But you didn't. You're still here. And I'm here with you. They sit down together, side by side. Maria opens the pastry bag and takes out 2 warm croissants. She hands one to Daniel. Eat, she says softly. You need it. Daniel takes a small bite. The warm, sweet taste fills him slowly, bringing a bit of comfort back into his body. Maria speaks gently. You know, when I started learning English, I had a day just like this. Daniel looks at her surprised. You? But you're always so confident. Maria laughs softly. No, Daniel. I'm confident sometimes. But not always. I had a day when I cried too. I felt like I couldn't learn anything. I felt stupid. I felt scared. What did you do? Daniel asks. She smiles softly. I continued anyway. Slowly. Gently. With small steps. And I asked myself one simple question. She looks at Daniel with warm eyes. Do I want to give up, or do I want to grow? Daniel breathes deeply. Something inside him shifts slowly, softly. Maria continues, You already grew so much this week. You took steps many people never take. One tired day doesn't erase that. Daniel feels her words settle inside him like soft rain falling on dry soil. He whispers, I want to grow. Maria smiles. I know. She puts her hand on his shoulder gently. Then rest tonight. And tomorrow, we start again. Slowly. No pressure. Just 2 friends trying together. Daniel nods slowly. Tomorrow. Tomorrow, Maria repeats with a soft smile. They sit quietly for a while. No English practice. No lessons. Just human warmth. just support, just understanding. Before she leaves, Maria turns to him and says one more thing. Learning isn't about never falling. It's about standing up again, even when it's hard. When she leaves, the room feels different. Not empty, not heavy, just calm. Daniel sits on his bed and whispers softly in English. I will try again tomorrow. The next day begins quietly, the same way soft music begins after a long silence. Daniel wakes up slowly, but today, the heaviness from yesterday is not as strong. It's still there, sitting gently inside him, like a small shadow, but it's no longer controlling him. Instead, he feels something else, something small, something warm. The same feeling he had on the very first day he practiced English again. Hope. Not loud hope. Not shining hope. Just a soft, small hope. But even a small hope can make the world brighter. He sits up in bed and looks around his room. Nothing has changed. The walls are the same. The light is the same. The window is the same. But Daniel feels different. Not fully strong. Not fully confident. Just willing. He whispers in simple English to test his voice today. I will try again. The words come out slowly. But they come out. And that alone makes him feel a little stronger. He stands up, walks to the kitchen, and makes tea. The smell of warm leaves rises into the air again, just like every morning. But today, the tea tastes a little sweeter, even though he didn't add sugar. Maybe it is because he feels lighter. Maybe it is because he feels proud of himself for simply trying. After he finishes his tea, he picks up his phone. There is a message from Maria, sent early in the morning. Good morning, Daniel. I hope you slept well. If you feel better today, I'll be at the cafe. If not, I can come to your place again. No pressure. Daniel reads the message slowly. He takes a breath. Then another. Then he types. I feel better. I will meet you at the cafe. He presses send, and the moment he does, he feels something unlock inside him, like a small door opening after being stuck for a long time. He puts on his shoes, grabs his bag, and steps outside. The morning air greets him again, fresh and cool. The sky is clearer today. Soft blue. Light clouds moving slowly like gentle thoughts drifting across the sky. With each step Daniel takes, he whispers a simple English sentence, the same one Maria said yesterday. I don't have to be perfect. He repeats it again. I just have to try. The words calm him. They feel like warm hands holding his heart softly. When he reaches the cafe and steps inside, he sees Maria immediately. She is sitting at the same table near the window, but today she is not smiling widely. Today, her face is soft, gentle, full of quiet concern. When she sees Daniel, she stands up slowly and walks to him. Hi, she says in a soft voice. Hi, Daniel replies. Maria looks at him for a moment, then smiles lightly, not a big excited smile, but a warm, understanding smile. I'm glad you came, she says. Daniel nods. Me too. They sit down. The waitress brings their usual drinks without even asking, tea for Daniel, a cappuccino for Maria. They thank her, then sit quietly for a moment, letting the warm cups sit between their hands. Daniel finally says, Thank you for yesterday. Maria shakes her head softly. You don't have to thank me. Yes, Daniel replies gently. I do. Maria looks at her cup, then looks at Daniel again. I'm just happy you didn't give up. Daniel takes a slow breath. I almost did. She nods. I know. Another soft moment of silence passes. But it is not a heavy silence. It is a quiet, healing one. Then Maria leans forward and says, Okay. Today, we will speak again. But slowly. Gently. Like we are learning from the beginning. Daniel smiles a little. That is good. Maria begins with the simplest English possible. how are you today? Daniel answers slowly, I feel better. Still a little tired, but better. Maria nods proudly. That is honest. That is good. Daniel takes a breath and asks her, and you? How are you? She smiles softly. I feel happy because you are here. Daniel looks down for a moment, shy but warm inside. Her kindness always surprises him. It feels soft, like a hand on his back guiding him forward. Maria says gently, okay, Daniel. Let's start with something small. Something easy. She takes her notebook from her bag and places it on the table. We will speak about yesterday, but only with simple sentences. Daniel nods. Okay. Maria begins, yesterday I felt worried about you. Daniel speaks slowly, choosing each word with care. Yesterday, I felt sad. Maria nods gently. I know. Daniel continues, I felt scared. Maria places her hand on his for a moment, just a quick touch, and says, thank you for saying that. Daniel feels warm for a second. Then he continues, but today, I feel stronger. Maria smiles brightly now, the big smile he loves seeing. Yes, yes, Daniel, stronger. That is perfect. Daniel laughs softly. A little stronger. A little is enough, Maria says. A little becomes more. She takes a sip of her cappuccino, then says, now let's talk about today. Today is new. Today is fresh. Daniel nods. Today is my comeback. Maria blinks, surprised. Comeback? Daniel nods proudly. Yes, comeback. The day I try again. Maria smiles so widely that her eyes shine. Daniel, that is beautiful. He laughs shyly. I heard it in a movie. It fits you, Maria says. This is your comeback. They begin practicing slowly. Very slowly. Short sentences. Easy words. Maria speaks like a gentle teacher. Daniel speaks like someone rebuilding his courage, one word at a time. Maria says, today is a new day. Daniel repeats, today is a new day. Maria says, I am ready to learn. Daniel repeats, I am ready to learn. Maria says, I can try again. Daniel pauses, then repeats in a soft but steady voice, I can try again. Each sentence feels like a small step forward, not a big step, not a fast step, but a steady step. And steady steps are the strongest kind. After a while, Maria closes her notebook and says, okay. Now I want to try something special. Daniel tilts his head. Special? Yes, Maria says. We will speak about your dream. Daniel blinks. My dream? Maria nods. Yes. Why do you want English? What is your dream with English? Daniel sits back. He didn't expect that question. He feels a small fear rise inside him again. Talking about dreams feels big. Maybe too big. Maybe too personal. But Maria's warm eyes make him feel safe. He takes a slow breath and says softly, I don't know exactly. Maria shakes her head kindly. It's okay. You don't need a big answer. You don't need a perfect answer. Just say something small. Something simple. Daniel looks out the window for a moment. Cars pass. People walk by. Life moves. He closes his eyes for a second. Then he speaks. I want English, because I want to be more open. Maria smiles softly. More open. Daniel nods. Yes. I feel like I live inside a small place inside my mind. And English helps me open the door. Maria puts her hand over her heart. Daniel, that is beautiful. He continues slowly, carefully. I want English because I want to talk to new people. I want to understand the world better. I want to feel bigger inside myself. Maria's eyes shine with gentle pride. Daniel, that is a real dream. Daniel takes another breath and says quietly, I want to feel proud of myself. Maria whispers, you already should. Daniel looks at her surprised. Maria continues, you came today. You spoke today. You tried again today. That is something many people never do. You should be proud. Daniel feels his chest warm, like sunlight slowly entering. He nods slowly, quietly. They continue speaking. Maria tells him her dream too. She says, I want English because I want to see the world. I want to meet people from different countries. I want to travel. I want to grow too. They laugh softly together. They practice. They speak. They listen. They slow down. They breathe. They grow. And 1 hour passes, just like that. Maria looks at her watch. Daniel, we practiced for 1 hour. Daniel's eyes widen. 1 hour? It felt like 20 minutes. Maria laughs. Yes. When you are learning with heart, time becomes soft. Daniel smiles. Then Maria says something that becomes the most important sentence of the entire morning. Daniel, you came back. He breathes in deeply. Yes, I came back. And you will come back again tomorrow, Maria says gently. Daniel nods slowly. Yes, tomorrow. Maria smiles. See? That is how people grow. When they stand up to leave, Daniel feels lighter than he has felt in days. The heavy shadow inside him is still there, but now it is small. Very small. Almost silent. As he walks home, he whispers in English over and over. I came back. I came back. I came back. And finally, I will continue. The words feel true. The comeback has begun. The next morning begins with a soft golden light touching Daniel's window. It feels warm, gentle, and hopeful. When he opens his eyes, he does not feel heavy like 2 days ago. He does not feel nervous like yesterday. He feels something different today. Something simple, but strong. He feels ready. He sits up slowly and breathes out, letting the morning air fill his lungs. The world is quiet around him. No loud thoughts. No storms inside his mind. Just calmness. A quiet kind of strength. He whispers in simple English, "Good morning, new day." The sentence sounds warm, like a small smile in words. He gets up, makes tea, and sits at his small kitchen table. As he drinks, he thinks about Maria. He thinks about how she came to his house, how she talked to him gently, how she stayed with him when he felt weak, how she helped him come back. He feels grateful. Deeply grateful. He whispers, "Thank you, Maria," even though she is not there. And then he whispers something even more important. "Thank you, me." Because yes, Maria helped him, but he also helped himself. He didn't give up. He didn't close the door. He didn't disappear. He stayed. He tried again. He walked back to the cafe. He opened his notebook. He spoke the words. He is learning that courage doesn't always shout. Sometimes courage is quiet. Sometimes courage is soft. Sometimes courage is just one small step on a tired morning. Today, Daniel decides to take another small step. He finishes his tea, gets ready, and walks outside. The sunlight is gentle, not too bright. The air smells fresh. Birds sit on power lines, singing little morning songs. Daniel smiles. Today feels good, he whispers. As he walks to the cafe, he practices simple phrases. I can try. I can learn. I can speak. I can grow. Each sentence feels like a soft drumbeat inside him, steady and strong. When he opens the cafe door, he sees Maria immediately. She is waiting for him with the biggest smile, the smile that always makes the room brighter. Good morning, she says brightly. Good morning, Daniel replies. His voice is calm but confident. Maria looks at him carefully for a moment, then nods with pride. You look stronger today. Daniel laughs softly. I feel stronger today. Maria leans closer and whispers playfully, Are you ready for something new? Daniel's eyes widen. New. Yes, Maria says. A new step. Daniel feels a little nervous, but also curious. What step? Maria sits back and says in slow, clear English, today, we practice outside the cafe. Daniel blinks. He looks at her. He looks at the door. He looks back at her. Outside, he repeats. Maria nods cheerfully. Yes. Outside. Walking. Talking. Speaking English while we walk. Daniel's heart beats a little faster. He feels a tiny fear inside him, the same fear that appears when you do something you've never done before. He whispers, speaking outside, feels big. Maria nods. Yes, it is big, but it is also beautiful. And we will do it together. Slowly. Gently. Like always. Daniel looks out the window. People are walking. Cars are passing. The world is moving. Speaking English with just Maria feels safe. But speaking outside, in front of people, feels scary. But then he remembers yesterday. Daniel, you came back. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to try. He breathes slowly and nods. Okay, let's try. Maria claps her hands quietly. Yes, let's go. They finish their drinks, stand up, and walk out of the cafe. The sun touches their shoulders softly. The street is alive, but not too busy. A gentle breeze moves the leaves of nearby trees. Maria starts walking and says, in simple English, okay. We speak about our day, just like inside. But now, outside. Daniel nods. He feels a little shaky, but he walks beside her. Maria says, I feel happy today. Daniel repeats softly, I feel strong today. They walk slowly, step by step. Maria says, the weather is nice. Daniel looks up at the sky. Yes, the weather is nice. Maria says, I like walking in the morning. Daniel adds, I like walking with a friend. Maria smiles warmly. Me too. They continue walking. Sometimes people pass them. Daniel feels shy each time, but Maria keeps speaking calmly, making everything feel normal. Then she says, now let's talk about dreams again. But this time, more slowly. From the heart. Daniel breathes in. He looks forward and walks. Maria asks, in very simple English, Daniel, what is one small dream you have with English? Daniel thinks for a moment. Then he says softly, I want to speak without fear. Maria nods. Yes, that is a beautiful dream. Daniel continues, I want to speak to new people. Maria nods again. Yes, and you will. Daniel pauses, then speaks the softest truth inside him. Anne, I want to feel like I belong in the world. Maria stops walking for a moment. She looks at him, really looks at him, and her eyes shine. Daniel, you already belong. The words hit his heart like warm sunlight. They continue walking again. Maria speaks softly. When you speak English, even simple English, you open a door. A door to new people, new places, new feelings, new life. Every time you speak, even one small sentence, you walk through that door. Daniel feels tears behind his eyes, but the good kind, the kind that come when something true touches your heart. He whispers, a door. Maria nods. Yes. And today, you walked outside with English. That is a big door. A brave door. Daniel smiles slowly. Yes, it feels brave. They walk further until they reach a small park with benches and trees. Children are playing. A dog runs in circles around a tree. An older man sits on a bench reading. Maria sits on a bench and says softly, now, one more small step. Daniel sits beside her. What step? Maria points to a woman sitting alone nearby, tying her shoes. We will say one sentence to someone, Maria whispers. A small, friendly English sentence. Something like, good morning. Daniel's heart jumps. What? To a stranger? Maria nods. Only if you want to. And only one sentence. Daniel feels nervous again. His hands feel warm. His chest feels tight. I don't know, he whispers. Maria places her hand gently on his arm. Daniel, listen to me. You don't have to do this. You don't have to be brave every second. But sometimes, one small brave moment can change your whole idea of yourself. Daniel closes his eyes. He remembers how he felt 2 days ago, heavy, scared, lost. And he remembers how he felt yesterday, supported, understood, encouraged. And he remembers how he feels today, stronger. He opens his eyes slowly. I will try, he whispers. Maria smiles with gentle pride. They stand up. Daniel walks slowly toward the woman. Maria stays behind, giving him space, watching carefully but not pushing. Daniel stops a few steps away. His heart is beating fast. His mouth is dry. But he takes a breath, a slow, deep breath. And then, he says softly, "Good morning." The woman looks up, smiles, and replies, "Good morning." That's it. Just 2 words. But to Daniel, it feels like climbing a mountain. It feels like opening a big, bright door in his life. When he walks back to Maria, she claps her hands quietly, her eyes shining. Daniel, you did it. Daniel feels something powerful inside him, pride. A warm, glowing pride he has not felt in years. I did it, he whispers. Yes, Maria says. You really did. They sit back down on the bench, and Daniel feels his whole body relaxing. His shoulders lighten. His breathing softens. His heart feels open. I can do more than I think, he whispers. Maria smiles. Yes, that is the truth. And today, you proved it to yourself. Daniel looks at his hands. They are steady, not shaking anymore. He whispers one last sentence, the most important one of the day. I am not afraid of English anymore. Maria nods slowly, proudly, warmly. Welcome, she says softly, to your new life. The rest of the day feels different for Daniel. He walks back home from the park with Maria beside him, and every step feels light, almost floating. The simple moment, saying good morning to a stranger, feels small on the outside, but inside Daniel's heart, it feels huge. It feels like something important opened inside him. Something brave. Something new. Maria walks with a soft smile on her face. She doesn't speak much on the way back. She lets Daniel enjoy the moment. She lets the silence speak. And the silence feels peaceful, warm, and full of quiet victory. When they reach the corner where they usually say goodbye, Maria turns to Daniel and says gently, I'm proud of you. Daniel looks at her, and the sunlight touches her face softly. He smiles. Thank you for believing in me. Maria shakes her head with kindness. You did the work, Daniel. I only walked with you. They stand there for a small moment, both smiling softly at each other. Then Maria waves and says, see you tomorrow? Daniel answers without hesitation, yes. Tomorrow. He watches her walk away, her steps light and full of energy. And then Daniel turns toward his home, feeling the warm hope he carried this morning now growing into something bigger. He whispers to himself in simple English, I did something brave today. As he walks, he repeats it again, softly, proudly. I did something brave today. The words feel warm in his mouth. They feel true. They feel powerful. When Daniel reaches home, he places his bag on the table and sits down slowly. His heart still feels full, like a cup that is overflowing just a little. He closes his eyes and breathes deeply. He thinks about the woman in the park. He thinks about how she smiled when he said, good morning. He thinks about how his fear didn't win today. His fear tried to stop him, but his courage walked ahead. He whispers, I can speak to people. He says it again, I can speak to people. Then he opens his notebook, the notebook he started on the very first day. The one with his small promises, his small sentences, his small steps. He turns to a new page and writes slowly, carefully. Today I spoke to a stranger in English. He looks at the sentence and smiles. Then he writes, I felt brave. Then he writes, I am proud of myself. He closes the notebook gently and holds it to his chest. He sits quietly, breathing deeply, letting the pride sink in. He can almost feel his confidence growing inside him like a small plant reaching toward the sun. After a few minutes, his phone vibrates. It's Maria. I'm home, and I'm still smiling because of your brave moment today. Daniel laughs softly. He types, Thank you. I'm still smiling too. Maria replies, You see? One small step can change how we feel about the whole day. Daniel reads her message and nods to himself. It's true. One small step really can change everything. He types, What should we do tomorrow? Maria sends a winking emoji and answers, Tomorrow, something fun, but simple. You'll see. Daniel feels a mix of excitement and curiosity. He likes when Maria surprises him. Her ideas always bring new feelings, new experiences, new steps for growth. He closes his phone and stands up, walking to the window. The sky is starting to turn orange, soft and warm. The end of the day feels calm, peaceful. He whispers to the sky, Thank you today. Then he smiles and adds, More days like this, please. He cooks a small dinner, something simple, something warm, and eats slowly. He feels gentle happiness in every bite. Not excitement. Not loud joy. But soft joy, the kind that comes when you feel proud of yourself. After dinner, he washes the dishes quietly. He hums a little. He feels light inside. He moves slowly but with comfort. His whole body feels relaxed. When he finishes, he sits at his small desk and opens an English learning app on his phone. He usually feels nervous when using it, but today he feels curious. Today he feels open. Today he feels ready. He chooses a beginner-level listening practice. A woman's voice speaks slowly. My name is Anna. I am from Brazil. I like music. I like morning walks. Daniel listens carefully. He repeats the sentences softly. My name is Daniel. I am from here. I like tea. I like morning practice. He smiles. His voice sounds natural, calm, almost easy. He continues practicing for 20 minutes, short sentences, simple vocabulary, slow listening. Nothing too hard. But he enjoys it. For the first time, he actually enjoys it. After he finishes, he whispers, I'm improving. He says it again, I'm improving. He feels it. He feels the truth of those words. Every small step adds to the next. Every small step becomes bigger. Every small step builds confidence. And today, he took 2 steps, one in the cafe, one in the park. He stands up and walks to his bathroom. He brushes his teeth and looks at himself in the mirror. He doesn't see the same man from 2 days ago, the man who felt heavy, scared, lost. Today he sees someone who is trying, someone who is growing, someone who is slowly opening his world. He whispers to his reflection, You're doing well. Then he whispers, Keep going. He smiles at himself, something he doesn't do often. He turns off the light and goes to bed. As he lies down, his body relaxes. His mind is calm. His heart feels warm. He thinks about tomorrow with soft excitement. He thinks about walking. He thinks about speaking. He thinks about small steps. He thinks about doors opening. He closes his eyes and whispers before sleep takes him. I'm becoming a new me. And with that soft thought, he drifts gently into peaceful sleep full of quiet hope, soft courage, and a growing belief that English is not an impossible mountain. He whispers gently to himself in English, Today is a good day. He gets out of bed and goes to the kitchen. He makes tea slowly, inhaling the warm steam. As he sips, he thinks about yesterday, the walk in the park, saying good morning to a stranger, speaking English outside the cafe. Each small moment now feels like a little victory. And Daniel begins to understand something important. Learning English isn't just about words or grammar. It's about feeling brave, taking small steps, and trusting yourself. He smiles softly. I can do this, he whispers. After finishing his tea, he checks his phone. Maria has already sent a message. Good morning, Daniel. Ready for today's adventure? Daniel's heart beats a little faster. Adventure? He feels curious and nervous. He types back. Yes, I'm ready. Maria replies quickly. Great. Meet me at the cafe. We have something special today. Daniel feels a small thrill. He gets dressed, grabs his bag, and walks outside. The morning air is crisp, cool, and full of light. The sky is soft blue, with small clouds floating slowly. Everything feels gentle, welcoming. When he reaches the cafe, Maria is already there, sitting at their usual table by the window. She waves at him with a big, warm smile. Good morning, she says brightly. Good morning, Daniel replies, his voice calm but full of quiet confidence. Maria stands up as he approaches. Today, she says, we will have your first real conversation with someone else. Not me. Not inside. But a real person outside. Don't worry, it's simple, friendly, and short. You can do it. Daniel feels his heart jump. His stomach twists. Fear comes back for a moment. Talking to a stranger in English, it feels huge. But then he remembers yesterday. The small step in the park. The warm support from Maria. The feeling of pride that followed. And he takes a deep, slow breath. I can try, he whispers. Maria smiles warmly. Yes, that is all you need. Just try. They finish their drinks quickly and walk outside. The sun is brighter today, soft but clear. People move past them on the sidewalk. Cars hum quietly. The world is alive, moving, ordinary. But to Daniel, it feels like a stage, a little scary, a little exciting. Maria leads him to a small bakery nearby. A woman is arranging bread in the window. She smiles politely when she sees them. Maria whispers, Daniel, this is it. Say one sentence. Something small. Friendly. Daniel nods. His hands are a little sweaty. His heart beats fast. But he steps forward. He remembers all the things he practiced. Good morning. How are you? I like. He chooses a simple, honest sentence. He says softly, good morning. Your bakery looks nice. The woman looks up, surprised, and then smiles warmly. Thank you. That is very kind. Daniel feels a rush of pride. He did it. He spoke. A real sentence. To a real person. And she smiled. She understood. No judgment. No fear. Just a friendly exchange. He turns back to Maria. She claps her hands softly and whispers, Daniel, you did it. Daniel smiles, a little shy, but wide inside. I did it. Maria nods. Yes. And now, one more sentence. Daniel's stomach tightens again. But he remembers the small steps. One step, then another. Fear is small. Courage is bigger. And the stranger is just a human like him. He walks a little closer and says softly, I want to try your bread. Which one is best? The woman laughs gently. Today the chocolate croissant is very fresh. You should try it. Daniel smiles. Thank you. He points at the croissant and says, I will take one, please. The woman wraps it carefully and hands it to him. He pays, saying, thank you very much, in soft, clear English. As he walks back to Maria, holding the warm croissant, he feels a glow inside. He did more than speak. He connected. He understood. He was understood. This small conversation, simple and short, feels huge. It feels like a bridge from fear to confidence, from silence to words, from doubt to action. Maria looks at him with shining eyes. Daniel, do you feel it? Your first real conversation. You spoke English to a stranger. You communicated. You connected. That is real learning. Daniel breathes deeply, holding the warm croissant in his hands. Yes, it feels amazing, he whispers. Maria smiles. Do you see now? Every small step you take builds something bigger. Every word, every sentence, every attempt matters. You are growing, Daniel. You are really growing. Daniel feels a tear behind his eye. Not sadness. Not fear. But a soft, quiet joy. The kind that comes when you realize you can do more than you ever thought. The kind that comes when you see your own courage, even in small, simple moments. He whispers softly, I am proud of myself. Maria nods. You should be. They sit on a bench nearby, sharing the chocolate croissant. Daniel takes a small bite and smiles. Warm, soft, real happiness fills him. He feels lighter, stronger, ready for the next step. Maria speaks gently, tomorrow, we will speak more. We will try new things. But today, celebrate this. Your first real conversation. Daniel nods. Yes, today is a good day. They sit quietly for a while, enjoying the sunlight, the simple sounds of the street, the small moments of life. And Daniel feels it deeply, the joy of speaking, the pride of trying, the comfort of understanding, and the beauty of one small step that changes everything. As the sun begins to move lower in the sky, Daniel whispers to himself again and again, softly, proudly. I can speak. I can speak. I can speak. The morning feels calm, quiet, and full of possibility. Daniel wakes up and stretches slowly. His body feels lighter than it has in days. He remembers yesterday, the bakery, the conversation, the smile from the stranger, and it still feels like a warm light inside him. He smiles softly and whispers, I can do more. He gets out of bed and walks to the kitchen. The tea smells warm and soothing, filling the small room with calm. As he sips, he whispers simple sentences to himself. I am brave. I can try. I can speak. Each sentence feels like a small drumbeat in his chest. They're quiet, simple, but strong. After breakfast, he opens his notebook. Yesterday, he wrote, Today I spoke to a stranger. I felt proud. Today, he adds a new goal at the top of the page. Today, I will speak more English with more people. It feels a little scary. A little bigger than yesterday. But Daniel has learned something important. Small steps build confidence. One small step yesterday led him to courage today. And now, it's time for another small step. He puts on his shoes, grabs his bag, and steps outside. The morning air feels fresh. The sky is soft blue with moving clouds. He breathes slowly and whispers, Today is another step. When he reaches the cafe, Maria is already there. She waves at him with her bright, warm smile. Good morning, Daniel, she says. Good morning, Daniel replies. His voice is calm, steady, and a little more confident than yesterday. Maria stands up. Today, we will try something new. A little bigger than yesterday. Are you ready? Daniel takes a deep breath. Yes, I think so. Maria nods. Perfect. We will speak to people in a small group. Inside the cafe. Friendly people. Easy English. You can do it. Daniel feels a tiny nervous flutter. A group of strangers? Speaking English? It feels bigger than yesterday. But then he remembers yesterday's small step in the park. One sentence. One short conversation. And he smiles softly. I can do this, he whispers. Maria leads him to a corner where 3 people are sitting, drinking coffee and chatting quietly. Maria introduces Daniel slowly, gently. Daniel is learning English. He wants to speak. Can we help him? The people smile warmly. One woman nods. Of course. Hello, Daniel. Daniel feels his heart beat faster. But he takes a deep breath. He remembers simple sentences, simple words, and the small steps he learned with Maria. He smiles and says, Hello. My name is Daniel. I want to speak English. The woman nods kindly. Hello, Daniel. I am Anna. Nice to meet you. Daniel repeats slowly, Nice to meet you. The conversation begins. Small sentences. Simple words. Everyone is patient. Gentle. Encouraging. What do you like? Anna asks. Daniel thinks. He remembers his own life, his own small joys. I like tea. I like morning walks. I like learning English. Maria nods softly. Perfect, Daniel. Another man asks, Where are you from? Daniel replies, I am from here. I live near the cafe. A soft smile spreads across the man's face. That's great. Welcome. Daniel feels a warmth in his chest. He is speaking. Real sentences. Real English. Real communication. Not perfect. Not fast. But real. Maria whispers quietly, See? You are doing it. Daniel nods, smiling. Yes, I am. The group asks more questions. Daniel answers slowly, carefully. Sometimes he pauses. Sometimes he searches for a word. But no one judges. Everyone smiles. Everyone waits. Everyone encourages. After 20 minutes, Daniel realizes something important. He is speaking. He is connecting. He is understood. English is no longer just words on a page or sentences in a notebook. It is alive. It is moving. It is a bridge to people, to friendship, to understanding. Maria whispers gently, How do you feel? Daniel breathes deeply. Happy. And proud. I didn't think I could do this today. Maria smiles softly. You see? Every small step yesterday brought you here today. You are growing faster than you think. Daniel nods. Yes. I see that now. The group finishes their coffee, and they all wave goodbye. Daniel waves back, smiling warmly. He feels a sense of accomplishment that is soft, quiet, and real. No need for loud celebration. The feeling itself is enough. Maria walks with him outside. Daniel, tomorrow, we can try something slightly bigger. Something challenging. But remember, small steps. Always small steps. That is how you grow. Daniel nods slowly. Yes, small steps. He takes a deep breath and looks at the street. Cars hum softly. People walk by. The sun shines warmly on his shoulders. Everything feels alive, moving. And Daniel feels ready. Ready for the next step. Ready for tomorrow. Ready for more English. Ready for more courage. Ready for more life. He whispers softly, proudly, I am learning. I am growing. I am brave. Maria smiles at him warmly. And that, Daniel, is the most important thing. Daniel smiles back softly. Not perfect. Not loud. But real. And he knows the journey is only beginning. He stretches slowly, whispering softly in English, Today. I will try a little more. He gets out of bed and walks to the kitchen. The tea smells warm and comforting. He sips slowly and practices small sentences. I can try. I can speak. I can learn more. Each sentence feels like a small drumbeat inside him, steady and strong. He opens his notebook from yesterday and reads his notes. Today I spoke to a stranger. I felt proud. Today I spoke to a small group. I felt happy and brave. He smiles softly. The words remind him how far he has come. And today, he is ready to take a slightly bigger step. He puts on his shoes, grabs his bag, and steps outside. The air is fresh, crisp, and full of possibility. The sky is soft blue with gentle clouds floating slowly. He breathes deeply. I can do this, he whispers to himself. When he reaches the cafe, Maria is already there, smiling warmly. She waves and says, "Good morning, Daniel." "Good morning," Daniel replies, his voice calm but carrying a quiet confidence. Maria leans closer and whispers, "Today, we will try something new. A challenge. Slightly bigger, but still simple. You can do it." Daniel feels a nervous flutter. "A challenge?" he asks softly. "Yes," Maria replies. "We will order food at a restaurant in English. And we will speak to the staff. Simple sentences, clear words. But it will feel bigger than yesterday. Are you ready?" Daniel pauses for a moment. His stomach twists a little. His chest beats faster. But he remembers yesterday, the small steps, the park, the first real conversation. Each small step built courage. And he takes a slow, deep breath. "Yes, I am ready," he whispers. Maria smiles warmly. Perfect. They leave the cafe together and walk to a small restaurant nearby. It's quiet, friendly, not crowded. Maria leads him to a table and sits down with him. She smiles softly and says, "Daniel, we will order together. Step by step. You can do it." Daniel nods slowly. "Step by step," he whispers. A friendly waiter comes to their table. Maria greets him in English and whispers to Daniel, "Your turn." Daniel takes a deep breath. His hands are slightly sweaty, but his heart feels calm. He remembers simple sentences. Simple words. He smiles politely at the waiter and says slowly, "Hello. I would like a sandwich, please." The waiter nods kindly. "Sure. Would you like tea or coffee with that?" Daniel pauses, searching for the words. He remembers what he learned. Slowly, he replies, "Tea, please." The waiter smiles warmly. "Good choice. Anything else?" Daniel shakes his head softly. "No, thank you." The waiter nods and walks away. Daniel exhales deeply. His chest feels light. His stomach feels warm. He did it. He spoke English. To a stranger. At a restaurant. A real, practical, slightly bigger step. And it feels huge to him. Maria smiles at him. "See? You did it. Step by step. One sentence at a time. And you succeeded." Daniel smiles softly. "Yes, it feels good. It feels real." They wait for their food, speaking quietly in English about the simple things, the weather, the morning, how they feel today. Each sentence is small, clear, careful. But each sentence builds Daniel's confidence. When the food arrives, Daniel thanks the waiter politely. "Thank you very much." The waiter smiles and says, "You are welcome." Daniel feels warm inside. It is more than just speaking English. It is connecting. It is expressing himself. It is being understood. And that feeling is worth more than any perfect grammar or fast speaking. After finishing their meal, Daniel and Maria step outside. The sun is soft, golden, and warm. Daniel feels proud, strong, and calm. Today was bigger. Today was a challenge. And he passed it. Step by step, word by word, he is growing. Maria looks at him gently and says, "Daniel, do you feel your progress? You started 2 days ago afraid, shy, unsure. And now? You spoke to strangers, you joined a group, you ordered food in English. That is real growth." Daniel smiles. "Yes, I see it now. Each day, each small step, it really helps." Maria nods. "Exactly. Every small step matters. Every brave moment builds you. And tomorrow, we will try another step. Another little challenge." Daniel breathes deeply. "Yes, I am ready." They walk quietly back toward the cafe, enjoying the soft sounds of the street. Daniel feels the rhythm of life, gentle and alive, moving around him. And he whispers softly, proudly, almost to himself, "I am learning. I am growing. I am brave. I can speak." Maria smiles at him warmly. And that, Daniel, is the most important lesson. Daniel nods, feeling the truth of her words. He feels the soft, glowing pride inside him. Not loud, not hurried, but steady, real, and strong. As they reach the cafe corner, they wave goodbye. Daniel turns and walks home slowly, feeling calm, confident, and happy. The world feels alive, kind, and full of possibility. And Daniel knows, tomorrow will bring another step, another small challenge, another chance to grow. Step by step, word by word, day by day, he whispers to himself as he walks, "I am ready for tomorrow. I am ready for more English. I am ready for more life." And he smiles softly, knowing the journey is only beginning, but that every small step is already changing him. That evening, Daniel arrives home with a calm feeling he has never known before. The day was full, busy with small steps, small conversations, and small challenges. And yet, for the first time, he does not feel tired in the way he used to feel after trying English. His body feels light. His mind feels soft. His heart feels warm. He sits at his small desk and opens his notebook. The pages are filled now, yesterday, the day before, today. Each sentence, each note, each small victory is written carefully. He reads slowly. "I said good morning to a stranger. I spoke to a small group at the cafe. I ordered food in English at a restaurant." Each line feels like a small ladder step he has climbed. And when he reads the first note he wrote, the one from the day he almost gave up, he feels a soft smile forming. "I am afraid. I cannot speak. I am too shy." He compares that to today. And a strange, beautiful feeling fills him, pride. Not loud pride. Not a boast. But quiet, calm, real pride. He whispers softly, "I have changed, a little, but real." Daniel leans back in his chair and closes his eyes. He remembers the first day he started learning with Maria. The fear, the hesitation, the heavy silence inside him. And now? Now he can speak. Now he can connect. Now he can try. Now he can enjoy. And the world does not feel so big and intimidating anymore. He opens his notebook and writes, "I am learning. I am brave. I can speak English." He pauses. He looks at the words and smiles. Slowly, he repeats them aloud, softly, clearly. "I am learning. I am brave. I can speak English." Each sentence feels true. Each word feels steady. Each thought feels strong. And Daniel realizes something he has not realized before. It is not about speaking perfectly. It is not about knowing every word. It is about trying. It is about small steps. It is about courage. It is about connection. He breathes slowly, softly. The room is quiet. The light of the evening spills gently through the window. And Daniel whispers again, this time with a soft laugh. "I never thought I could do this." He remembers yesterday and the day before and the small victories that led him here. Each step, each moment, each sentence, it all built something inside him. A new belief, a new courage, a new hope. Daniel stands and walks to the window. He looks at the soft orange sky, the gentle movement of leaves in the evening wind, the quiet hum of the city below. And he thinks, tomorrow will be another step, another small challenge, another chance to grow. But tonight is for reflection. Tonight is for gratitude. Tonight is for seeing what he has already accomplished. He whispers softly, "Thank you, Maria. Thank you, me." He smiles. He remembers the words Maria always says, "Small steps are the key. Every brave moment builds the next." And Daniel finally understands them fully. Not just as words, but as truth. Real, living truth. Truth that he feels in his body, in his heart, in his mind. Truth that tells him he is growing, step by step, word by word, day by day. He sits quietly for a long moment, breathing slowly, feeling the calm, the pride, the joy, the gentle excitement for tomorrow. And he whispers one last sentence tonight, soft, slow, and clear. I am ready. I am learning. I am brave. I am growing. And with that, Daniel feels something he has never felt before, a small but real sense of transformation. Not perfect, not complete, but real. Something inside him has changed. Something inside him believes in the power of small steps, simple words, and steady courage. Something inside him knows that English is no longer a wall, but a path. A path he can walk, slowly, carefully, and fully. And Daniel smiles softly, closing his notebook, turning off the light, and letting sleep carry him gently into the night, calm, proud, and ready for all the steps, words, and challenges tomorrow will bring. The next morning, Daniel wakes up with a soft golden light shining across his room. Today feels different. Not nervous, not heavy, not scared. Today feels curious, excited, hopeful. He stretches slowly and whispers softly to himself. Today, I will speak more. I will try more. I will enjoy it. He walks to the kitchen and makes his tea. The steam curls around his face. He breathes it in slowly, enjoying the quiet warmth. He sips and practices small sentences out loud, gentle, clear, and calm. I can speak English. I am learning. I am brave. I am growing. Each sentence feels true. Each sentence feels steady. Each sentence feels like a little drumbeat in his chest, strong and soft at the same time. After breakfast, he grabs his bag, opens his notebook, and writes one goal for today. Today I will speak to a group of people. I will try new sentences. I will enjoy it. He reads it slowly, repeating each word aloud. Today, I will speak. I will enjoy it. Yes, today will be a step. Bigger than yesterday. But he feels ready. Not perfect, not rushed. Just ready. He walks outside. The morning air is fresh, soft, and full of calm energy. Birds sing quietly in the trees. The sky is light blue with small, fluffy clouds. The world feels alive. And Daniel feels alive too. When he reaches the cafe, Maria is already there, smiling warmly. Good morning, Daniel, she says brightly. Good morning, Daniel replies, his voice calm, steady, and soft. Maria leans closer. Today, we have something fun. You will speak to a small group inside the cafe. Friendly people. Easy English. But more sentences than before. Are you ready? Daniel takes a deep breath. He feels a flutter of nervousness, but it is soft, not heavy. Yes, I am ready, he whispers. Maria smiles. Perfect. Step by step. One sentence at a time. They walk inside together. A small group of people sit at the tables. A woman waves gently. Hello, Daniel. We're happy to see you. Daniel smiles. Hello. I am happy to see you too, he replies softly. The group is friendly. They ask simple questions. What do you like? Where do you live? What do you do? Daniel answers slowly, carefully, clearly. I like tea. I like reading. I like learning English. I live near here. I walk to the cafe every day. I am learning English slowly, step by step. Each sentence feels like a small victory. Each word feels like a soft bridge connecting him to the group. They smile. They nod. They listen patiently. No judgment. no rush. Just understanding and warmth. Daniel starts to feel something he has never felt before. Joy. Not loud joy. Not excitement. But soft, quiet joy, the kind that comes from connection, from courage, from trying, from being understood. He laughs softly when someone tells a funny story. He asks simple questions back. Do you like coffee? What is your favorite book? The sentences are small, slow, careful, but they flow naturally. And for the first time, Daniel feels English is not just words. It is a way to connect, to enjoy, to share. Maria watches quietly, proud. See, Daniel? You are speaking. You are connecting. You are enjoying English. This is what learning is about. Daniel feels a soft smile form on his face. Yes, I can speak. I can connect. I can enjoy it. The group finishes their coffee and waves goodbye. Daniel waves back, feeling warmth in his chest. He turns to Maria. I really enjoyed that. I didn't think I could enjoy speaking English. Maria smiles softly. And that, Daniel, is a big step. Today you felt joy. Not fear. Not stress. Just joy. That is progress. Daniel breathes slowly, feeling proud, calm, happy. Yes, joy. I like it. Maria leans closer. Tomorrow, we will try something new again. Maybe a slightly bigger challenge. But remember, step by step. Enjoy every sentence, every connection, every moment. Daniel nods slowly. Yes, step by step. They walk outside together. The sun is soft and warm. People pass by. The street is alive, gentle, ordinary. But Daniel feels something extraordinary. He feels capable. He feels brave. He feels alive. He whispers softly to himself proudly. I can speak. I can enjoy. I can connect. I am learning. I am growing. Maria smiles at him warmly. And that, Daniel, is the most beautiful part of learning. Daniel nods, feeling the truth of her words. A small, steady pride grows inside him. Not loud, not rushed, but real, calm, and strong. For the first time, he feels that English is not a mountain he must climb. It is a path he can walk. Slowly, step by step, word by word, moment by moment. As they reach the cafe corner, Maria waves goodbye. Daniel waves back. He walks home slowly, feeling light, happy, and alive. He whispers softly, tomorrow, I will try again. I will enjoy again. I will grow again. And Daniel smiles softly, knowing that the journey is still just beginning, but that each small step, each brave word, each joyful moment is already transforming him. Today, I will speak more. I will try more. I will connect. He walks to the kitchen and makes his tea. The warmth fills his hands. The steam rises slowly, curling around his face. He breathes in deeply and whispers, I am ready. I am learning. I am brave. He sits at his small desk and opens his notebook. He flips through the pages filled with his small victories. The park, the bakery, the cafe, the restaurant. Each page is a step. Each step is a story. Each story is proof that he can do more than he thought. He writes a new goal for today at the top of a clean page. Today I will have a full conversation. I will listen. I will respond. I will enjoy it. He repeats it softly aloud. Full conversation. Listen. Respond. Enjoy. Yes. Today will be slightly bigger. Slightly challenging. But he feels ready. Not perfect, not rushed. Just ready. He grabs his bag and steps outside. The morning air is soft, warm, and alive. Birds sing in the trees. People move quietly on the street. The world feels ordinary, but in Daniel's heart, it feels full of possibility. When he reaches the cafe, Maria is already there. She waves and says warmly, "Good morning, Daniel. Ready for today?" "Good morning," Daniel replies. His voice is calm, steady, and confident. Maria leans closer and whispers, "Today, we will speak with one person for a longer conversation. A real, full conversation. Step by step. One question at a time. You can do it." Daniel takes a deep breath. His heart beats a little faster, but he feels calm inside. "Yes, I am ready," he whispers. Maria smiles softly. "Perfect. Step by step. One sentence at a time." Inside the cafe, a friendly man sits reading a newspaper. Maria introduces Daniel slowly. "This is Daniel. He is learning English. He wants to practice. Can you speak with him?" The man smiles warmly. "Of course. Hello, Daniel." Daniel smiles back. "Hello. My name is Daniel. I want to practice English." The conversation begins. Small sentences at first. Daniel listens carefully. He repeats slowly what he understands. He asks small questions back. "What do you like? Where are you from? What is your favorite food?" The man answers kindly. Daniel listens and responds with simple sentences. Sometimes he pauses. Sometimes he searches for a word. But the man waits patiently, smiles, and encourages him. Daniel feels a small thrill inside, a quiet excitement that he is really communicating. As the conversation continues, Daniel begins to relax. He smiles. He laughs softly when the man tells a small joke. He asks questions with curiosity. "Do you like music? What kind of books do you read?" His sentences are simple, clear, and careful, but they flow naturally. And Daniel feels a wonderful feeling growing inside. Joy. Real, quiet, deep joy, the joy of connection, the joy of understanding, the joy of speaking English and being understood. Maria watches quietly, proud. "See, Daniel? You are having a full conversation. You are listening. You are responding. You are enjoying English. This is real learning." Daniel smiles softly. "Yes, I can speak. I can connect. I can enjoy it." The conversation lasts almost half an hour. Daniel learns about the man's favorite books, travels, and daily life. He shares small stories about his own life, practicing new sentences, listening carefully, and speaking slowly. By the end, he feels tired in a soft, good way, the kind of tired that comes from using your mind and heart fully. When the man leaves, he shakes Daniel's hand warmly. "You are improving. Keep practicing. You can do it." Daniel smiles widely. "Thank you. I will." He turns to Maria. I really enjoyed that. I didn't think I could speak for so long and feel happy." Maria smiles softly. "And that, Daniel, is confidence. You are building it, step by step. Full conversations, one at a time, will grow your English and your courage." Daniel breathes deeply. The cafe, the street, the morning sun, everything feels soft, alive, full of calm possibility. He whispers softly to himself. "I can speak. I can listen. I can connect. I can enjoy. I am learning. I am growing." Maria nods warmly. And that, Daniel, is the joy of learning English. Daniel feels the truth of her words. Step by step, word by word, conversation by conversation. Each small effort, each small success, each joyful moment builds confidence, courage, and understanding. He walks home slowly, feeling light, proud, and calm. He whispers softly, smiling. "Tomorrow, I will try again. I will speak again. I will enjoy again. I will grow again." And Daniel smiles softly, knowing that the journey is still beginning, but that each step, each word, each conversation is already transforming him. And so, Daniel's journey reminds us all that learning English is not about perfection. It's about small steps, brave attempts, and joyful connections. Every word you speak, every sentence you try, every conversation you have builds your confidence and your voice. Remember, it's okay to pause, to stumble, and to take your time. What matters is that you keep moving forward, step by step, word by word. You can speak. You can connect. You can grow. And just like Daniel, your English journey can be full of courage, joy, and discovery.